Well, guys, I said after I got the four-wheeler going, I was going to get the Ford up here. Well, when I went, you know where it's been sitting in the videos, I haven't started it up lately. Well, I have started it up, but I haven't moved it. So I went to back it up and then go forward, and it just started cutting out. It won't run right. So I went and got the four-wheeler that was hooked up to that roller, and we towed it back. And then I'm going to put it back in here once I get these snowblowers out of here. And I got to take the carb off. I definitely know it needs a rebuilt carb or a cleaned up carb, because the carb is just crap. So I'm going to clean that up a little better, and that ought to fix it, hopefully. The brake and choke, everything's a little stiff on it from sitting outside. That's actually the first year I left it outside, so. That's how you know when you leave your lawnmowers outside, everything will change on them really quick. It takes a toll on them, the weather. Cold and the heat and then all the snow and the rain, it all takes a beating on them, so. But I just leave it outside. It's a little farm tractor. It's an old farm tractor, so that. I'm going to bring it in here a little later, and we'll start in on that. That'll be my next project. Well, guys, been working my butt off all day, and it's about done for today. Just got done pushing the Ford into this shed. Boy, it does take up a lot of room. Why don't you look? I'm not used to having it in the shed. Gotta get this snowblower out of here for the year, too. Yep, we're going to start working on the carb. I gotta get it going. It's really the only tractor I have to use right now. I mean, I can use that, but I don't want to ruin it anymore. So I just started up just enough to get it to run in and out of the shed, and that's all I run it. So, yep. That's about it for today. Just gonna start working on the Ford. We got a really bad air leak. You can hear it right there. Yeah, it's right there. Just need a tube or maybe a whole new tire, not sure, but that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, it's Monday, May 11th, and not May, but April. I always get my dates mixed up. I already got dirt on my face, so we got our carb, not the carb off, we got all our air cleaners off and everything. Took the hood off. It's so much easier to work when you take the hood off a lawnmower. They're not that hard. Just unhook the light switch and take it off. This one's a little difficult than the Craftsman. The Craftsman just clips right on. But our carb is pretty big, and it's got a lot of adjustments on it. That's our choke. I just unhooked it. See, everything's so stiff in there. The carb is really dirty. I've never cleaned it ever since I first got it. So hopefully it makes the sucker purr even better like a cat, and it don't backfire like it always used to. So now I'm just going to start unbolting the carb. I got everything else off. Well, I do got to take the gas hose off and clip it somewhere. I'll just clip it right there. So yep, I got to do that. See, it does have a new air filter. I put one on last year. Not air filter, fuel filter. There's a bunch of oil down in there from starting it up in the winter when I tried to get the starter to turn over. See, I think there's some hair up in there because this sits out in the woods and it gets mouse nests all up in it. So, yep, we're going to take the carb off now and then we'll take it apart. But that is a very good idea if you're ever working on a lawnmower and the motor. Just take the hood right off. It's not that difficult. So, it makes it a lot easier to work on. So, it's a good key. So, yep, get the carb off and we'll show you the next step. It is raining outside. Yep, alright. Well, we got our carb off. I'll show you. I was a little surprised. The carb's not as dirty inside as I thought. The needle valve don't stick or nothing. But I got it off. It's how the carb hooks up is all these little linkages here. All these little linkages, they all hook up with a piece of plastic and a little bolt, and that's how they latch onto there. It's pretty neat. So yeah, but I got it off. That's a big joy. It's just like the Craftsman we were working on. How you gotta adjust this into the motor. I shouldn't have to readjust it because I didn't unbolt it. So that's good. And I was surprised because that Ford must not be super old, or the carb was rebuilt because it's got a plastic float. And the float don't stick. I'm not going to rebuild the carb. The carb just needs cleaned up, and it needs tuned up. That's all it needs. So I'm gonna clean it up. I bought some carb cleaner, and we're gonna use it on it. But I mean, the bowl wasn't very dirty inside either. So that motor must not. Either that motor's not that old or something. Must not be that old. I see a lot of them on the other engines. It's a twin. So runs pretty good. It should run a lot better once I clean this up and tune all these little things up everywhere. I mean, we got screws everywhere on this carb. So yep, there was a little bit of water though in the carb when I drained it. So that was the only thing. I think water might have got down in the carb. That might be why it wasn't running right. But if you look down in there, everything's clean. I will run a lot of carb and choke cleaner through it. I am going to clean out this fuel pump too. So we're going to clean that fuel regulator actually. It's actually a suction. But this motor does have an oil sensor on it. So got one of them deep cycle marine batteries in it. But I'm going to clean the carb up under this side, then put the bowl back on and take all the carb and choke cleaner to it. Get all this dirt off, and then we'll take our little screws out and clean all them up. So not too bad. I didn't think the needle valve don't stick, and there's no water or gas inside of that float, so it's all right. So that'll be what we're gonna do.